For me and my family, every day is an adventure. And some days are better than others. And even though on the outside I may seem like I have it all together, I'm not quite sure that I'm doing it all right. So join me on this adventure as I navigate wife life, mom life, boss life, and everything in between. Hi guys, so welcome back. This is part 2 of our family vacation, and on this day we took a trip to the Gulf Breeze Zoo. So as you can see, it was $28 for adults, and for children 2 and up, $21. They even had feed bundles that started as low as $12, and you can see we purchased a feed bundle and a few extras there so the girls would be able to feed some of the different animals. When we first entered, we encountered the cutest little ducks. So as we continued to explore, we came across the cutest little turtle, but we didn't stay around long because we heard an announcement that the next safari train was leaving in a few minutes, so we decided to head over that way. Here's us once we boarded the train. Everybody was so excited to see what was coming up on the safari. The first exhibits we came across on the safari train ride were the large tortoises and then the lemurs. I was a little bit disappointed at first because I thought all the exhibits were going to be far away, but the further we went along, the closer in proximity and view the animals were. Next, we saw African gazelles and a rhino. Then we came across some ostrich, which were pretty much scattered about the entire safari trail. Next, we saw some white rhinos that were grazing. Then we moved on to the hippo exhibit. They actually have encounters where you can feed the hippos every day at 12 noon, but we opted not to do that. We kind of got there too late. This was their gorilla family. They had a mom, a dad, and a teenage gorilla that was kind of hanging off by himself. So here we saw a water buffalo, and then we ran into one of the ostriches that was following us around. They even had camels, which I thought was pretty cool. And then we circled back around to the large tortoises before we exited the train. Once we got off the safari train, we came across these beautiful pink flamingos. They are so sweet. Around the corner, we found ourselves with the farm animals, first starting with the chicken. I think this was the girls' favorite encounter that we had because they were able to feed a lot of the animals. You'll see they had sheep, they had goats, they had more chickens, and the girls really enjoyed it. Ever since we left, they've been talking about getting chickens, and we're working on that homestead, so we'll see. In a couple of the areas of the zoo, they had these food dispensers. They required quarters and we didn't have any, so I think it would have been nice if we would have known prior to coming in. We spent a little bit more time in the farm animal exhibit before having to beg the girls to leave. On the way to the giraffes, we got to see some pretty cool birds. I think the giraffe exhibit was probably the girls' second favorite. We spent a lot of time here with these gentle giants. Next, we swung on by to hang out with some spider monkeys and anteaters. Oh, look at these little guys. Aren't they the cutest? Quick stop to check out some cows before we headed to the big cat exhibit. The lions just kind of laid there basking in the sun. But come to think about it, I don't think I've ever seen any lions be really active at a zoo. On the way to the alligators, we passed the cheetah exhibit, but they were hiding, so I didn't get any good images of it. These alligators were kind of just sitting there, and the girls were throwing these alligator biscuits at them, but they weren't interested in eating them. One of the things I thought was really cool is they had these measuring boards of animals throughout the zoo where you could kind of measure your arms or your height and see what animal you were close to measurements in. As we made our way through, we saw many different species of tortoises, birds, monkeys, you name it. We really enjoyed our time, but we were on a tight schedule, so we quickly made our way through to the last and final exhibit. Before we reached the final exhibit, we did stop and give the girls the opportunity to admire the bamboo. This was the first time they had ever seen bamboo in person, so it was really cool for them to be able to touch it and see what it felt like. Here was another member of the primate species, and then again one of those cool measuring boards here. The girls got to see which type of bear their height aligned with. And then we saw a sleeping black bear. Finally, we made it to the last exhibit on our list, the birdhouse. The girls were a little nervous at first to have the birds landing and touching on them, but they quickly warmed up, and I think this was easily our favorite part of the zoo. So in our feed bundle, they gave us these little sticks. I think they called them bogey sticks, and they had bird food that was glued to them, and each of the girls had one. So the birds were all trying to get the seeds off of the sticks. Those birds were all over us, even long after the food was all gone. But I think they liked Sadiq the most. They, for some reason, just couldn't get enough of him, so we jokingly called him the Bird Man. After a few more minutes, we decided to go. We were sad to leave the birdhouse, but we were off to the next adventure in our day. Next stop was Laguna's Beach Bar and Grill in Pensacola, Florida. This was about a 15 to 20 minute drive from the Gulf Breeze Zoo. Here, the girls started out on the ropes course. Sadiq took all of the girls up. Eventually, though, we had to bring Samuari down because this was just a little bit too advanced for her. The other girls decided to keep on going. They were a little bit afraid, but they eventually made their way around the first level. This was the second time the girls had did a rope course. It was Samuari's first though. We tackled one at Great Wolf Lodge just last year, and I was so happy to see them being able to go through the individual sections by themselves. I was a proud mama seeing them conquer their fears. Because Samuari wasn't big enough to do the other course, we moved her to this kiddie course, which was perfect for her size. She was able to go through it with no help needed, and she had a blast. And what was even so cute about this was they even had a little mini zip line for the smaller children. Next up, we headed over to the racetrack for a little family-friendly competition in the go-karts. It was a close one, but I think Daddy and Mara won the race. Next, we headed over to the wall climbing section. So they had a couple of different types of walls for you to climb. And as you can see, Kari was our champion climber. She made it to the top to ring the bell. That was the easiest level one. So then they decided to try the tower of what looked like Lego blocks, which was the kind of middle level difficulty. And again, Kari was able to make it all the way to the top and ring the bell. She is definitely a climber. Once we were done, we decided to go and grab some food, and they had this beautiful ocean front seating area. So the girls and I hung out by the water while Daddy went and ordered food. We even decided to get our feet wet a little bit while we waited. So while the girls were playing in the water, they actually ran into some friends from the ropes course, and we were able to find a small little baby crab that was just hanging out by the shoreline. The food came out shortly after this, and it was surprisingly good, especially the pizza. I hate that I forgot to take a picture of it. On the way back, we decided to take the scenic route, and the views were absolutely amazing. If you're ever in the Pensacola beach area, I would definitely recommend Laguna's Beach Bar and Grill. It is the perfect spot for a fun family-filled day. So we're back at the condo. These kids have worn me out today. Like, I'm worn out. And the girl is finally resting. And yeah, we're in for the day. While I headed off to bed, Sadiq decided to spend some quality time with his girls, and they had a movie night watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So the next day, it was kind of rainy and gloomy. It pretty much rained most of the day. I think the rain stopped around 2 to 3 p.m., which we were aware of. So we kind of got a late start, but we did get a chance to head over to Fort Walton's Beach, where we went to Wild Willy's Adventure Park, and the girls enjoyed the arcade. Right next door, they had an ice cream shop, but it was kind of late, so we decided to go ahead and head on out and get some real food back on Navarre Beach. So for dinner, we ended up at the Samuari Japanese Steakhouse and Sushi Bar in Navarre Beach. It was right around the corner from our condo, so it worked out perfectly. And this was the girls' first time going to a Japanese restaurant where they actually cook the hibachi in front of you, so I know they would really enjoy the experience. Kari had been wanting to try matcha and boba tea, so this was the perfect opportunity for her to do it, and you can tell by her face that she loved it. And we even all got a taste. It was pretty good. It took a little while, but the chef finally came out. And once he started his presentation, I could tell the girls really enjoyed it, especially the fire tricks. It was a new experience for them, and they were having a lot of fun. Sadiq and I ordered some sushi, and it was actually really, really good. I don't remember what it was called though. Once the girls got their food, they wanted to try chopsticks, and surprisingly, for their first time, they did really well. The food was really awesome, but what was so special to me about this restaurant was that they went above and beyond to help us celebrate Abaya's birthday. They brought out this cute robot, which got stuck on my backpack at first, but it came with a toy, a fruit birthday cake, and it even sang happy birthday. I had never seen a restaurant give a child a toy like that, especially of that size. So I must say I was really impressed. Then the whole group sang happy birthday to her, and of course she was shy, but it was the sweetest thing. Happy birthday, dear Abaya. Happy birthday to you. She's extremely embarrassed right now. And so that ended our family Florida Gulf Coast beach vacation, and we were back home in just enough time to celebrate Abaya's actual birthday. We got her a burger cake because she loves veggie burgers. It didn't quite survive the ride home, and with me and being pregnant and all my emotions, I cried, but she was happy, she was smiling, so that was all that mattered. I can't believe our baby girl turned 9. Thank you so much for coming along and watching us celebrate one of our treasures. See you next time.